Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Should Have Listened. Many years ago, I worked in customer service for a company that managed our Medicare part, and the annual enrollment period rolled around. And during that time, it got chaotic. On top of the usual caring for customers, answering their questions, fixing problems, we had to enroll people into our plans. And it was a bit of a process. There were questions that needed to be asked and answered, information that had to be imparted, and at the end of it all, a long spiel, explaining our responsibilities and the customer's responsibilities, and important information the customer had to verbally consent to. So in the midst of this, I got a woman who is angry that she has to do this, and is angry at how much time the whole process is taking. I explained to her that I'm trying to get her through this all as quickly as possible. Then we get to the end, and I explained that I have to read her the terms of service, and I need her to verbally confirm yes to it all. Immediately she starts carrying on, oh she just doesn't have the time to listen to it. I tell her I am legally required to read this to her. She doesn't want to hear it, just sign her up. I explain again that to complete the sign-up process, I have to read this to her, and she needs to acknowledge it. Another round of she doesn't want to hear it, doesn't want to agree to it. I can just skip it and sign her up. No, I can't. I can read through it quickly. However, she still needs to hear it and say yes. More arguing that she doesn't want to. Let's just say she agrees to it and I can sign her up. By this time, I'm thinking, lady, if you had just let me read this instead of arguing with me, we could have been done by now, which I couldn't say. Instead, I informed her that I have to read this agreement to her, and she needs to verbally agree to it. If she doesn't, I will not be able to sign her up for Medicare Part D. She will not have a Part D plan. She will not be able to enroll in a plan until the next year's enrollment period, and she will have to pay a fine for not having a plan this year. She ignores all that, tells me to sign her up, and hangs up. Of course, I don't sign her up, and I wrote down the whole incident in the call log. That I explained several times that I needed to go over the agreement and get her consent, the penalties to her if she didn't, that she refused, and that I did not sign her up. Several weeks after the new year, a coworker sitting near me gets a call from a woman who is furious that when she went to get a prescription filled, the pharmacy wasn't able to run the insurance on it, and when they checked, they told her that she didn't have a Part D plan. The coworker asked for the woman's name, which was the woman who I didn't sign up. My coworker checked and said the caller did not have a plan with us. Worse for the caller, we could not enroll her, since she missed the enrollment period. Imagine how much easier things would have gone for everyone if that woman had just let me do my job and read the service agreement, and she just said yes to it. The next story is called Time Tracking Policy. So, in my job, we need to track explicitly our effort and the time that we spend on which tasks. Each day must have at least 8 hours of recorded effort, and if there's not enough work, or for some other reason you are not working productively the whole day, you'll have a hard time thinking about where to put your efforts. If you record less than 8 hours, your bonus for the quarter will be less. If you don't have enough work, that's also your problem. Lately I have taken sick leave for some days, as I was really not well, but after a few days, and as I had a bad feeling about letting the team down, I continued to work, even though I was sure that I could easily get another medical certificate to extend my paid sick leave. However, I was only able to work some of the hours. I needed to sleep the other half of the day. I was working from home. Remember the rule about time tracking? I didn't know where to put the remaining hours, and actually didn't bother to invent something. The next day, my boss asked me why my time tracking was not filled correctly. On the other hand, if you just report sick, you don't need to worry about the time tracking, as the whole day will not count. So I just decided to go to the doctor on the next day. and extend my sick leave for a few more days, without worrying now about where to put my hours. The company apparently prefers people to not work at all, instead of only working half days without correct time tracking. I don't know how that makes sense from a business perspective, but it's not my business. The last story is called Vacation Days. I worked for a company with great pay and benefits, one of which was vacation days. I worked there for years without any performance or attendance issues. I was also an employee who would not work overtime. I give 100% while I'm there. That's all I have to offer. Other than that, no issues. Each year I'd pre-planned my vacation days. We had to put our plans on our calendar for approval, and I wanted to receive my approval before confirming my plans. So I did everything as early as possible. I had no vacation request problems for years, and did not hear of other employees having issues with their vacation time or pay. Then, one year, all of a sudden, after using all but 4 of my vacation days, management said I had no additional paid vacation time. I reviewed our online handbook, gathered my requested and approved time off, and checked my check stubs to verify the paid vacation days I'd taken thus far. I presented everything to management for research. My direct manager said he checked, and I didn't have 4 additional vacation days. That wasn't good enough, so I asked him to forward it to his manager. His manager said the same thing. That wasn't good enough. Eventually, my concerns reached the center manager. The center manager called me into a meeting. I again presented my findings, showing I had 4 unused vacation days left. He then began discussing changes to our vacation policy while making eye contact and smiling. He turned his computer around to show me the new handbook they constructed, reflecting the new vacation policy. Wait a minute, what? There is an online employee handbook, yet I am supposed to go by a new handbook not known to employees. Make that make sense. I politely said, okay, and walked out. I removed my 4 days from the vacation calendar. I then began chatting with other employees to see the number of days they had taken for that year and the number of days they might have left. This allowed me to calculate the number of vacation days they used or had remaining. I did not find one other employee having my issue with vacation time. I waited a couple of months and filed a lawsuit while working there. Other employees did not know about my lawsuit. At least not from me, but I'm sure management knew. The lawsuit discovery process revealed an email chain. The email chain showed the center manager directly asking human resources about my 4 unused vacation days, and human resources confirming I had 4 unused vacation days. The center manager used the fixture's new handbook to cover his and other management actions, denying my unused vacation time. Shortly after that, we settled, and they paid thousands for 4 unused vacation days. I had to resign, of course, and the center manager and other management lost their positions, retired or quit. All I wanted was my unused paid vacation time, but what I received was much more. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.